welcome to another exciting edition of the Drunken Cockatoo. As you can see, I'm your host, Joe Nolfo. I'm here as I always am. Lucky Leo, my trusty sidekick. He's gone somewhere. I think he had to go somewhere for his schooling. And, today's show is about space and UFOs and abductions and crazy stuff like that. We were talking about it on the phone, me and him, and he said he was had to go away for some of his college classes, and I thought, I kind of thought that he was studying space anyway, because I talked to one of his professors once and I asked him what he was doing in college, and he said he was taking up space. So anyway, I'm going to have to do the show by myself today, so we got a shorter show because Leo's not here to back me up, and I'm all by myself, as you can see. But today's is an exciting show, and today's about UFO and alien abductions. Any experience that I've ever had with an alien abduction, I never have had. But I remember when I was a very young kid, I was like 16 years old, and I had went and seen The Exorcist, and I was just terrorized. I was always worried that I was going to see that little girl somewhere and have a heart attack at such a young age. And I remember I had a girlfriend about a half a mile from my house, and I was into jogging at the time. So I used to leave her house at nighttime, and I would run home down, the avenue, and I'd stay in the middle of the street in case the Exorcist girl come running out of the bushes, I could outrun her. And honestly, though, I remember I went through this tot lot park where I lived in Miami Lakes, and there was somebody that was sitting on the on the little toy train that they had for the children to play on, and he was definitely otherworldly, without a doubt. I mean, it had a gigantic head. I don't know if it was some poor kid that had some kind of a disability or something. I was so freaked out that I actually went home to my father, and my father could see that I was so shaken up that he grabbed his pistol, and we ran back up to the park. And by the time we got back there, he wasn't, the alien or whoever it was, wasn't there. But that was like my only experience I've ever had with it. But now they're saying that they're getting all these kind of, like the military's got films. I don't know if anybody saw that film. It's on YouTube where there's a aircraft carrier and one goes flying by, and they got all these people that are doing shows that were fighter pilots in the military, and they've seen them everywhere. And so I'm starting to believe that aliens and other planets and other civilizations do exist, And I remember, if you're as old as I am, or close to as old as I am, if you remember when Elvis Presley died, there was always the controversies and people thinking that he was still alive. And I always remember every time I would go to a grocery store and I'd be waiting to check out, they always had those magazines like the Inquirer or the Star magazine, and you would always say Elvis Presley was sighted on a UFO. A spaceship would come down, and they would see Elvis Presley on that. And so I've always associated Elvis Presley with UFOs since that time. And so today I'm going to make a sandwich here, and I'm going to make the Elvis Presley sandwich. Everybody knows what it is. It's bread, banana, honey, peanut butter with slices of bacon on it, which is what they say is one of the reasons why he died and he got so fat when he was older, because the sandwich was so damn good. And anybody out there, if you're watching, and I know you've heard about the Elvis Presley sandwich, but no one's ever made one that I know of. I personally haven't. So today I'm going to go, in honor of the UFO show, I'm going to go ahead and make that sandwich and try it. And not only am I going to try it, I'm going to imitate Elvis as I try it. So stick around for that. And then after that, when I get done making the sandwich and trying that, we got a film for you that we've obtained from the nationally syndicated television show 30 Minutes. And Morley Danger, you remember that guy? He was the famous narrator of that show. There was two different people that got abducted by aliens that are on this show, and they interview them. And it's a pretty neat show. It was hard to find. We found it. We're going to play it for you right here on the Drunken Cockatoo when I get done with this sandwich. So let's get going with the sandwich here. This is the official Elvis Presley sandwich. So you'll be able to make it yourself after you watch me do it here. And I should have done this before. Let me do it this way. Okay. So what you have to do here, you have to take your bread, get the peanut butter here. I kind of like creamy. I don't know if Elvis did crunchy or creamy, but he probably did crunchy, because he's probably thinking about, the hunks that are in the crunchy, like a hunk of bun and love. And anyway, so you put peanut butter on the sandwich, as you see, like I just have. And then, of course, you want the banana. You got to put banana in the peanut butter so it sticks together there. So let me peel this banana here. I got a feeling that this is going to be a really awesome sandwich because it sounds awesome, you know. It's all fat, you know, but good fat. And we know that Elvis Presley was getting very obese toward the end and had heart condition, was why he died on the toilet, taking too many pills, and his heart was weak from probably eating this sandwich right here. So you put the bananas on it. So I got peanut butter and banana now. And then here's one of the clinchers here. You got to put honey on it. Honey on the banana. So now we got peanut butter, honey, and banana. Let me get one more. I need one little more piece for this one right here for this corner. Okay. And now, here's where that heart attack problem comes right here. And I'm not a pork eater. I quit eating pork about 10 months ago altogether. And, but I'm going to make an exception because I figured I don't want to go to my grave without ever having eaten an Elvis Presley sandwich. So here we go with the Elvis Presley sandwich. So there you go. I got the bread, not toast. I got the bread, I got the peanut butter, I got the banana, and I got the bacon. And I got to tell you, I got a feeling that this is going to be an awesome sandwich. So this is what we're cooking today on the Cockatoo, as we always cook something. And I was going to get Tang too. That was the mixed drink that they brought to the moon for the astronauts and all that, but I couldn't find it. I don't even know if they still make it anymore. If they do, if you know how to get it, put it down in the comments or something. So I'm going to sample the Elvis Presley sandwich now, but as I promised, I'm going to imitate Elvis Presley eating it so you can kind of get the full experience of it. All right, give me a second here. This is what Elvis Presley would have looked like eating a sandwich. So he'd be like this. He'd be, thank you, Priscilla. I'm gonna give it a try. Wow. That is an amazing, amazing sandwich. I gotta warn you, don't make this at your house if you're on a diet, because if you make this one, this is going to be a regular visitor to this sandwich at my house. Jake, your part's coming up. The Drunken Cockatoo himself. Phenomenal. Try it. Especially if you vape the marijuana, if you get the munchies, that thing will knock your socks off. But anyway, we're going to cut now. We're going to go to that film that I promised you from the 30 Minutes. Morley Danger interviews two people that were abducted by UFOs. One from Booger Hollow, Tennessee, and the other one from the Castro section of San Francisco. They have very different stories to tell. So, I want you to enjoy it, and thank you for watching The Drunken Cockatoo. Thank you. Thank you very much.
First of all, I want to ask you, Billy Bob, where were you and what were you doing when you were abducted by the aliens?
Well, I was on my way home from the local saloon. It's called Filthy McNasty's. We had a cornhole competition, and I'd been drinking a lot that day. I mean a whole lot. And it must have been midnight or 1 in the morning. And I knew I had to get home because I was seeing doubles of everything. And that's when this UFO flying saucer thingamajig began hovering over top of me with this light that was brighter than any light I'd ever seen before. And all of a sudden I couldn't move. I mean, my fingers and toes were stuck, like I couldn't move a muscle or nothing. And that's when all of a sudden I was being sucked up into this flying saucer by what felt like a giant wet, dry vacuum without all that racket a vacuum makes.
Whoa, that is truly amazing. So what happened when you arrived inside the saucer? Did you see the aliens there?
Yeah, they was standing right there. Believe it or not, they offered me some Tang space drink. And Pillsbury food sticks, like the ones they used to sell on Earth back in the 70s. Guess they must have them in storage for when they abduct us humans. Hell, I don't have any idea what they eat on the planet Uranus. So after a glass of Tang and a food stick, they got right down to business with their so-called experiments, which at first weren't much of anything, just a regular checkup, like a rubber hammer to the knee to check the reflexes. Then it got real serious, real fast, and a whole lot more painful.
Oh my. How did they communicate with you? Did they speak English?
No, they just think it to themselves, and you could hear it inside your head. It was weird. It was really, really weird.
That truly is weird. You just said that the experiments get more serious and much more painful. I mean, please elaborate on what they did to you for our audience, please. Come on.
Oh, the first thing they did that told me this was not going to be a pleasurable experience was when they took hair samples from all over my body, and I mean everywhere. Everywhere. Man, oh man, you have no idea how much a giant handful of pubic hair hurts when it's ripped out by a giant alien hand. I thought I was going to pass out.
That is horrible. I mean, what else did they do to you? I can't imagine that it could get worse from there. I mean, tell us, did it get worse?
Well, hell yes, it got worse. And I gotta tell you right here and now, this is gonna be really embarrassing for me. But this is when that dreaded anal probing came in. And that's when I knew all those other people who had claimed to be abducted by these Martians was telling the truth. Because when they probed you, you knew right then and there, this was not the first time they probed someone. Oh no! They was what you call professional when it comes to probing poor old bastards like me.
That is awful. That's horrible. I gotta ask, I mean, what did they probe you with? Was it some kind of an instrument or a machine? I mean, come on, tell us, please, tell us.
I guarantee you it was no instrumental machine. Oh no, these Martians were built for probing. And you could tell by what they was doing, they was having fun. And I gotta tell you, it was downright humiliating. I mean, my friends keep calling me gay. I'm not gay, they're gay. You couldn't tell if they was even doing it for science, or if they just doing it for their damn old personal recreation.
Oh my Lord, you poor man. Well, that's all the time we have with you, Billy Bob. Thank you so much for sharing your story. Story, all right. And now we travel to our second guest of the night, and that is Thurston Thurdow of the Castro section of San Francisco. Thank you for being with us tonight, Thurston. And as we understand, you were also abducted by the same exact flying saucer that Billy Bob Williams was, although you were over 2,500 miles away. Tell us, what were you doing? And where were you at when they were, or where were you at when you were abducted by the alien spaceship?
Well, it was a lovely evening in the Bay Area. It is almost nice, especially around the Castro section of San Francisco where my partner and I, Bruce, live. And we were just leaving a limbo contest at the Pink Pony Saloon that my partner Bruce had won. And I tell you, nobody can bend over backwards like Bruce can. And he was carrying the trophy he had just won, and it was made out of brass, and it was quite heavy. And that's when this flying saucer appeared directly over top of us. And then just as sudden, it began to suck us up into its carapace. It was awful. I mean, oh my, the suction was incredible, which reminded me of Bruce when we first met. Oh, I'm just kidding. I'm such a joker. Anyways, it must have been the heavy trophy that Bruce was carrying that prevented him from being sucked up inside the spacecraft. And believe you me, Bruce never wants to miss out on anything like that. Oh, there I go again, always making funnies. So, just as soon as I get inside the spaceship and I get my bearings, I was offered a glass of Tang with nothing but Tang in it. I mean, when I go to a bar, I order a real drink, not a Shirley Temple. You follow me? Oh, so anyway, this fabulous alien, who I later came to know as Harvey Wallbanger, pours me some of this alien liquor, and boy, let me tell you, that space food causes a powerful buzz.
I mean, 1 minute I was like just little old me sitting inside a spaceship, and a few sips later I was like Ben-Hur riding my Roman chariot to glory at the Colosseum. So, anyway, I finished my drink, and then Harvey telepathically informs me that he has to do a few experiments on me before he can release me, he said, and he starts removing hair all over my body. But I think he was a bit disappointed when he got to my private area because I have no hair there to speak of. No, not a big fan of the underwear hairstyles, if you catch my drift. So, after the hair specimens were collected and stored, well, that is when things got a little funky, if you know what I'm saying. I mean, I don't kiss and tell with people from this planet, so I am certainly going to stay tight-lipped with extraterrestrial flings. Oh, not another word from me, no.
You mean to say you were not at all traumatized by the forceful hair removals and probing? I find that hard to believe.
Oh, Gina, you need to join me for Roman night at the Coliseum on Thursday nights in the Castro section. Just a couple of visits there, and believe you me, there's nothing that could ever shock you again in a spaceship.
So overall, you all would say that your experiences with these Martians was a pleasant one?
I loved it. Harvey Wallbanger described the planet Uranus to me, and I have to tell you right now, I absolutely love Uranus. And I love Uranus too, Bruce. In fact, my partner and I, Bruce, are going for a visit to the planet Uranus very soon. You see, this Wallbanger alien and his partner are returning to a dinner party at our place in San Francisco this Saturday night. And boy, is he in for a big surprise when he eats Dungeness crabs and rice-a-roni instead of Pillsbury food sticks and Tang. And then they're going to return to Earth and bring us up to their place the following Saturday for the annual White Party on Uranus. Can you believe it? A White Party on Uranus? Can you stand it? Can you stand it?